Hi everyone, I'm Sabrina, a licensed massage therapist and certified cosmetic surgery specialist, and this is Talk Plastic Surgery, where we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And on this filler episode, we're going to go over our last 3 segments with 3 very beautiful women that I'm so happy and so grateful that they were able to come on the show and share their story. Venus, Sarah, and Natalia. So, without further ado, let's begin. After the disaster that Venus went through,
it turned out to be a disaster. I cried, literally. I literally cried because it was unbelievable. It sets you back like you're worse than what it was.
As you could see, she went through hell. And there was also so much more to discuss in her episode. She went in thinking she was going to have multiple procedures done, thinking she was going to have a 360 and also get her arms lipo done. But if you watch that episode, you would know that that surgeon failed to do so. And actually, let's replay back where she talks about that. What was the procedures that you actually ended up paying for? Because I know like they only did one, but what was like the total what you ended up paying?
Okay, I was supposed to get my upper arms did lipoed and just 360.
Yeah.
And the total came up to like maybe 5,800, something like that.
Yeah.
And they didn't do the arms, so
Or the stomach. They literally only did your back.
Only the back.
Yeah.
And I have like war marks on my back that I'm fighting to this day. And it's been a year. I'm fighting to this day to get off my body.
So as you could see, you would think that when you pay for a procedure, that you're going to get the procedure that you paid for. And in this case, that is actually not what happened. So she ended up only getting her back lipoed and ended up getting multiple puncture wounds in her back. And ironically, it's like you end up wanting lipo everywhere and you end up getting like 13, 15 incision holes in your back. And in reality, it's like, really, what are all those incision holes for? It's weird, but thankfully, Venus is on the right track to heading in the right direction to getting things taken care of now. And we're going to make sure that she's also taken care of like we do with all of our patients here. And so now let's talk about Sarah's episode.
Before I had the surgery complication, I was very ecstatic about the results, loved the way everything looked, and then all of a sudden, overnight, things changed. I was so disappointed. It definitely did play a role on my mental health.
So now in Sarah's episode, we go over seromas, and let's play that clip. Encapsulates, and that's when you get a seroma.
Exactly.
And so you got it basically at week 2.
Yes.
So then how long did it take to go away?
So there was, I think like 2 weeks almost where I had to go get it aspirated every single day, which was...
Wow, see, every single day. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about what is a seroma. So a seroma is an encapsulated pocket of fluid that ends up developing tissue around the inflammation. And in reality, the only way to really get rid of a seroma is when you go see a doctor or a medical professional that can use a syringe to suck it out. Now, that being said, in my practice here in Vegas, I have actually figured out a way to get rid of seromas without having to go in and using a syringe, because a lot of my patients end up coming here from another city, another country, and a lot of doctors don't want to see them, so we have to get creative. So I've learned with a lot of compression, and I have my own technique for this, so you got to contact me directly if you want to know, to getting rid of seromas. But fact of the matter is, a seroma, once you get it, it really is, like Sarah was explaining, one of the hardest complications to get rid of, and it takes weeks. But we got rid of it, and thankfully, using my technique and a lot of different types of other compression techniques, and her surgeon in the beginning, in the first month of like releasing and sucking out the fluid from the seroma every single day, and her having to drive an hour over there really, really helped. And also on Sarah's episode, we had a little brief discussion about GLP-1s. So let's play that clip. Wow. So did you take anything to help you lose weight, or did you do it all naturally?
Yeah, I was on a GLP-1 medication for, I want to say it was like 9 months. So this was, yeah, so the medication I was on was Mounjaro, which is kind of like the gold standard.
Oh my God, I was on Mounjaro.
I was on Mounjaro when there was a manufacturer coupon that made it $25 a month. And that was
$25 a month.
That was without insurance. Like that was without insurance. It was $25 a month. And yeah, so if you know, you know, but I was on it during that time.
God.
So I lost the bulk of my weight during that time when it was $25 a month.
I'm so pissed right now. So we talk a little bit and go over GLP-1s. And what is a GLP-1? So a GLP-1 is actually a weight loss drug that has hit the market, and I'm guilty of it. I've been using it, and to help people lose weight. So the only reason why I'm bringing this up now is because for a little sneak peek into future episodes, I'm going to have some people on here, and we're going to actually get deep dive into it. We're going to deep dive into the medication, how it's affected people, how it's benefited people, and the different side effects and different things that it's done for people as well. So stay tuned for that. But thanks, Sarah, so much for coming on the show. And now let's talk about Natalia.
I think it was a positive for me. I thought about it for a long time, and it's something I wanted to do for me. I was really excited honestly about this procedure, and I didn't come down with any weird depression or anything like that. Thank goodness.
So in Natalia's episode, she talks about how you have to maintain your results. You can't just think that, oh, you're going to have surgery and that this is the end and you don't have to take care of yourself. So let's go back and play that clip. But are you doing things to continue helping like maintain your results?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like a lot of misconception that I've heard from people that I've known that on a procedure like this, they think it's just the fat never comes back, or they said, oh, they take the fat cells out and they don't, you can eat whatever you want, girl, and it's nice because it's not going to come back. That's 100% a lie. And I can say it because I got kind of comfortable a little bit. And I noticed that I was feeling like really bloated, and you don't have, your stomach will be flat and you don't have this like fold over gut per se, but it does get bigger like this. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people don't think it goes like this, but I do get like my clothes are fitting different, and it was hard to like, button my pants. And I was like, what's going on? Because my stomach looks flat, right? But you're like, no, it's still growing. It just grows a different way. So it's important to mention.
I didn't even think about that. That's true.
Yes.
Okay. So in Natalia's clip, she talks about how you don't gain weight like the way you normally do. Now she gains weight like this. And that actually makes sense because when we're looking at the different types of fat that we actually have within our body, and as you can see here, you can see there's subcutaneous fat and then there's visceral fat. So visceral fat is actually the fat that grows inside of our muscles and our organs. So it grows around our organs, and then it's actually what makes our muscle protrude out like this, as opposed to us getting like rolls or lonjas, as we say in Spanish. And subcutaneous fat is actually the fat that the surgeons remove when they're doing lipo, because it's above the muscle. So that's why if you've noticed that when you have procedures done or when you get lipo done and you're not really gaining weight, but you notice like, oh, your clothes don't fit good, but your stomach's still flat, it's because now you're gaining subcutaneous fat. And that is actually something good. I'm so glad Natalia brought that up, that we don't discuss actually, is that when they do remove the fat cells, you don't really grow fat in there. They can get bigger, the fat cells that are still remaining. They can get bigger, but you will get fat. You will get fat in other areas of your body. And one area that has actually slipped my mind is our internal fat. So even if you're fat, if you like say you're gaining weight and you're eating a lot of food after you have surgery done and you're already all healed up and you don't see it anywhere, I would be cautious because that means it's probably going around your organs, and that is a huge no-no. Huge no-no. We don't want that, guys. But I'm so glad that she brought that up. And on that note, going over all of the different procedures and everyone's different recommendations, we still have 2 people who recommended something that is very, very important. Do your research. Always be doing your research. Talk to people who have had the procedure done. Talk to people that have gone to that surgeon. And they look like your body so that you can get a better idea if that is the surgeon that you want to go with. And then another thing is that Sarah's recommendation, which is one that I really love. Set aside money for the post-op, guys. Don't just think you're going to pay X amount of money for your surgery and that's it. No, you still got to take care of yourself. And in the description here, I'm going to post my 5 keys to post-op surgery that I have from my business page. And you can click on that link and go and watch that video to see the 5 keys to plastic surgery post-op. Because it is so important that you do set aside money specifically for your recovery. Because it's not just the surgery. It's the whole recovery afterwards. And if there's anything that we've learned with all 3 of these ladies is that 1, the massages are super important. And 2, taking care of yourself afterwards is super important. So without further ado, I wanted to give a huge shout out to all 3 of these beautiful ladies. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your story. And if you want to go back and rewatch their stories, I will have all the links at the bottom. And at the end of this episode, you can click on Natalia's episode, Sarah's episode, or Venus's episode and go back and rewatch their story and hear their experience with plastic surgery. Now, stay tuned, guys, for the next segments. I am quite excited for everyone to watch these segments. I'll just give a little sneak peek into what's going on. We already have episodes all the way till August, and we have some big names coming on the show. Big names. So I'm excited to interview them. I'm excited for you guys to see who they are. So you got to stay tuned for that. But on that note, the next segments are going to be quite fascinating and quite intense and insane. So I'm super excited for the next 3 segments. These 3 ladies hold such a near and dear place in my heart, and I can't wait to share their story and their experience, of course, with plastic surgery. So without further ado, thank you for watching. Hit the like, share, push notifications for all things plastic surgery. Have a beautiful night, day, morning, and bye.